Even as she sits, she's shaking. It has nothing to do with the night's supposed chill. In fact, she melts within her uniform. Clammy hands steady the shotgun laid across her knees, and from somewhere deep inside her chest, this 18-year-old cop feels her heart pounding. Some people don't seem to learn. Others never get the chance to. And then there's this young woman. Flora Ling knows that she's the smartest person in the room, even if you don't agree with her. So when all bets are off, she should be the last one standing, right? Welcome, traveler. I'm Nick, and tonight, we start tying up loose ends. She waits along concrete, flanked by brick and steel. A rivet grinds into her back with each shake of the leg. It's the only thing Flora's constantly aware of, though sometimes a shot echoes from unseen corners. And once that blast fades, she's never sure it really happened. After all, it's only ever answered by a slight breeze, one that carries the stomach-churning scent of Main Street. Occasionally a car sputters, brake lights douse her. The engine cranks but never turns. How long till it reawakens the dead? Flora, her partner, and Sophia have already been established as being here. But is there anybody else? We'll make this a D4 plus 3. That 3 represents those already known. 3. There are 6 people here. Let's quickly roll sex for these 4 unknown individuals. The 4th is her partner. Even male, odd female. Male, female, female, male. I like the fact that her partner is male. We mentioned in the last episode that Flora is only 18 and that people tend not to take her seriously. I feel like having a male partner could help establish that feeling. Maybe he's older, way more experienced, so even he doesn't take her seriously. In fact, let's roll that. Having learned our lesson from Flora's age roll, we're going to start this guy's age at base 20, then add D20 to it. Here comes the roll. 9. He's 29. Not as old as we would like, but it's still a solid 11 years on her. I don't want to waste too much time generating this guy's character, but we do need to know a name. We'll get him one by going to randomlists.com. We'll start with a D10 for the amount of page refreshes, and then a D12 to generate the guy's name. 8. 8 refreshes. Four. Sergio. We'll do the same for his last name. 4. $12. Garrett. Sergio Garrett. The SUV fails again. Its engine sounds weaker. God, enough! Sergio snaps. Try the blue car now. Flora doesn't have to see it. The way he growls through his teeth says everything about the look on his bearded face. Thing's a 2-door death trap, the stranger says. Fussing with wires, he spills out from under the SUV's dashboard. It's better than fucking with a dead battery. They're all here for a reason. Another crank. But the vehicle doesn't turn. Maybe we should just start walking, some girl mumbles. Drawn in a dark jacket, she sticks out against the white wall standing behind them. A trail of smoke rises from the cig glowing at her fingers. Sergio doesn't bother looking at her. We don't know what else is out there. So we're just gonna wait for it to come and find us? They've been at this for God knows how long. Turns out that hot wiring a car doesn't work like it does in the movies. And the owner's MIA, if he was even here. Hell, he's probably mixed in with Main Street. Around the corner. Down an alley. Countless bodies litter Raccoon City's downtown district. They pave the road in flesh, though shells and spent brass cover what gore doesn't. The entire scene is lit by street lamps, tinted by a diner's hellish sign, and flashed by the rotating lights of ruined emergency vehicles. Earlier, police had mobilized. They were supposed to calm a rampaging mob. But there was an incident, and everybody died. The trouble was, they didn't stay dead. You all right? A soft, hesitant voice asks. Lifting her head, she finds a waitress crouching in front of her. Shadows hide most of this woman's face. They blend into the long, spindly bang that covers her right eye. Yeah. Flora stiffens her knee. Yeah, I'm fine. What if I check the shop? Sergio asks. What if we just walked? The smoker replies. He points down Main Street. Go then! It sounds like your partner's getting upset, the waitress says. She's speaking over her shoulder, watching Sergio pace as the SUV fails to start. Remember, we know that this is Sophia. Flora doesn't. But what I want to know is Sophia injured? D6 to the Oracle. Yes. Yes, she's injured. But what kind of injury is it? For this, we're going to look to the D% character description generator. This PDF has a series of tables meant to determine how a character looks. We used it in the Michaela generation episode. You'll find a link to it in the description. Both the PDF and the video. Dear God, this table makes me nervous. Here, take a look at it. Nasty stuff, right? Honestly, we can deal with most of it. A broken bone, burn marks, scars, that's all fine. But then we start getting into missing limbs and eyes, and I don't know what to tell you. Sure, there's only a 10% chance of getting those, but that's still too high for my liking. Let's see what we get. D100 on the injuries table. Sutured wound. Isn't that what Michaela had? Like, on her thigh? That's kind of poetic. The first thing I thought of was that she got cut by broken glass, right? There was a shootout right outside her workplace. Maybe a window shattered or something. Let's ask it. Is the wound caused by broken glass? D6. Yes, and it was a lengthy, deep cut. That makes me think of an explosion. Like maybe one of those SWAT guys used a grenade and it burst right outside, shattering glass. Sophia probably just got unlucky. Flora has 2 green in medicine. That makes me wonder, was Flora the one to stitch her up? I'm gonna say likely. We roll 2d6 and keep the higher number on the Oracle. 2 and 5. 5 is higher. Yes, she was. So maybe we have a little bond growing between them. Not a romantic one, but like a, hey, you patched me up so I kinda trust you now, sort of bond. We should get a location for the wound though. We'll make it a D6 roll on this location table. I made it for the Michaela generation video and it inspired the hit locations on the last episode. So where's the stitching? 2. The left arm. Okay. We can deal with that. Maybe it's right down her forearm. They retreated to the diner's back kitchen, where Flora patched her up, and eventually they made their way out the back door, to end up here. He's always like that, Flora sighs. I'll go check on him. Gripping her shotgun, she stands. The waitress rises with her. This woman's blouse had once been white. Now it's covered in sweat and blood. The fabric clings to her body. All skeletal points explored, she looks like she doesn't eat a lot. Hell, she probably doesn't sleep much either. But it's easy to miss all that by focusing on the waitress's left arm. Her sleeve is rolled up, no skin is visible. Instead, her forearm's covered by a generous amount of gauze. Stitches wait somewhere underneath. Flora nods at the wound. How's it feeling? Stings? Have anything for the pain? You wouldn't be able to understand me if I did. The waitress chuckles. That makes Flora giggle, and they laugh until a car door slams. It's followed by the smoking woman's voice. You don't know what's out there. Doesn't matter, Sergio says. Leaving the SUV, he stomps with all the grace of a pudgy storm. Sergio! Flora calls. No response. Instead, he closes in on the double doors beside her. Sergio. They don't open. No, they rattle in his hand. It's a hollow, taunting shake, one he ends by slamming green steel. Fuck! That outburst shrinks the waitress, but Flora's voice comes deeper as she steps to his side. Sergio! What? His shout echoes throughout their corner. It rivals Phantom's shots, and Flora stares past him. She's waiting for a shadow, waiting for a break in the diner's crimson light. But the alley doesn't move. It only breathes. Slowly, her gaze turns back to Sergio. His jaw's clenched, and he looks off before she says anything. There's a blue door sitting at the other end of their back lot. It's connected to the same building he just hit. Watch your goddamn volume, she says. Scoffing, he pushes off the door. Right. Where are you even going? We need keys, Ling. All right, I'll come with you. No, stay here. Glancing to the waitress, Flora jogs after him. I'm not giving you a choice. It's an order then. Stone shifts to brick as he passes a bay door. The small lock at its bottom seals them out. If Sergio sees that, he doesn't say anything. No, he chokes up on his rifle, a free hand snatches at the blue door, and Flora's right behind him as he yanks. To both of their surprise, it opens. Till she slams it shut. You don't give me orders. Fuck's sake, Ling. The man throws his head like a child. Just listen to me, for once, okay? You might need backup. He motions past her. So could they. And they're civilians. I got it, the failed car thief says. Still in his SUV, he's sitting upright, pistol in hand. Shadows and distance can't hide his bad tattoos. He motions to the smoking woman for a cigarette. But Sergio doesn't care. He leans closer to Flora. If any more of those red guys show up... I said I got it. The car thief takes a drag. His gun points to the shop. We're wasting time talking about it, so go. We're wasting time by just standing around. The smoking woman snatches her cigarette back. We should get walking. Wait. Were they planning on going back to the RPD? No. And they were heading towards the military checkpoint. Right? Sheldon knew about it, so why wouldn't these guys? If they're meant to save civvies from a horde, like that's where I would go. How many blocks is it away? We'll do a D6. 5. 5 blocks. Gritting his teeth, Sergio turns from the door and points down Main Street. You saw what happened. What makes you think walking's the best idea? The smoker points with him. That's most of the horde, right? We can't handle a few stragglers? It's not just the zombies, the waitress says. Her soft, uncertain tones call everyone's attention, and that shrinks her further. She stands a lone figure against the alley, hugging no one but herself. Don't forget about that bug. That only you saw? Don't write it off, Sergio says. He looks through the waitress. Flora stares with him. They find an assortment of brick buildings waiting past a row of forgotten cars. A motorcycle rests opposite of them. But the alley carries on. It spills out into another street not far from this corner. Distant buildings across Circular River scrape the night sky with checkered lights. Anything could be out there, Sergio adds. Then, shaking his head, he turns to Flora. And that's why you're staying here. She opens her mouth, but the thief talks first. I can handle a few bugs, man. Behind him, another woman, another waitress. She hasn't said a word till now. You think there's more than one? Surprise takes his face. Nah, man, just a figure of speech. What if there is? The injured waitress asks. Does Flora give Sophia her sidearm? P6 on the oracle. 4. Yes, but she's almost out of ammo. We'll assume she's down to whatever's in the mag now, so a standard 15-round magazine. We'll do a D12 plus 4 to see how many have been spent. 13! Oh, wow, that's not good, but, better than nothing. Then, we deal with it. Glancing to Sergio, Flora lets the shotgun dangle at her side and draws a pistol from the holster at her belt. It's not much, but here, she offers a Beretta to the injured waitress, who stares at it. Some distant, unspoken memory plays behind her eyes. Flora shakes the gun until it's taken. Thanks, comes the low reply. You're welcome. The blue door squeals. Flora turns to find Sergio gone. It only takes a few seconds for her to catch up. Alright, take 3 on the ending commentary track. Mainly because for some reason I sound super pissed off, even though, I'm not angry. Maybe I'm just tired today. It is a very dark day, and I'm just kind of tired. But there it is. Next episode done. Well, 1/3 of it is done. Yeah, that's right. Several months later, and only 1/3 of the planned episode is finished. What you just watched turned out to be about 4 pages of the script I have written. I did this one a little different, due to the nature of the episode. I can't talk too much about it without going into spoilers, but I had to write things down and roll dice as I was writing them. It was still the solo roleplay, just not all at once like I normally do. I kind of liked doing it that way though. It allowed me to take a tighter narrative than what you normally get when I'm just running and flailing about, and keep just a better consistency. At least I feel that it helped in that nature. But why did it take so long? Because all of the pictures that you saw in the lower left portion of the screen, the backgrounds of the characters, the backgrounds with characters, they were all made by me. I'm not saying that I went through and custom built every texture, no. I purchased all of those assets and then cobbled them together, Frankensteined a little environment and characters out of it. Essentially played Dollhouse for a little bit. It's pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. Rendering those images, for backgrounds anyways, took between 3 and 5 hours. And there were a lot of them. I can only do about, 2 or 3 renders a day just because I was not able to be at my computer to constantly save and start new renders. So it added to the production time that I had to come back and do it. It took so long to do these that I was able to dust off my old laptop and finish 3 scripts for other videos. I don't know, that's insane to me, right? At one point there were going to be animations, actual 3D animations in here, but the minor one that I was going to do would have taken 5 days. 5 days to render. So we didn't end up doing it that way. Instead, I kind of stop motioned a few things. But yeah, I have a question for you. Did the images add anything? Did getting a better visualization of what I saw in my head help at all? Did it build an atmosphere? Was it worth doing? If I continued to do it in this way, it would take the next episode, probably another 20-minute chunk, a long time to get out. And I might try to find a faster way of doing it. Actually, this way of doing the show was how I originally wanted to do it when I created this channel. It was just what I imagined. Now I see that doing it that way is not completely feasible. It just takes too long to get something out. And honestly, I was a little uncomfortable with how long it was between that episode and this episode. But yeah, let me know if it was worth adding those renders in, if you pulled anything out of that or not. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, I'll be in other worlds. Why is Sergio so thick?